You ever just look around at the world, at everything going on, and get this feeling like we're standing on the edge of something big? Yeah, a lot of us feel that way. Well, today we're going to dive into a prophecy that really speaks to that exact feeling. It's a prophecy about hope and about justice. So, let's start with right here, right now. The world today, you can almost feel it in the air, can't you? This sense of confusion, a feeling that things are just off, like they're really out of balance. And in times like these, so many of us are just looking for something to hold on to, some kind of direction in all this chaos. And when you're surrounded by things that just feel so wrong, so unfair, it all boils down to one really big question, doesn't it? Where is guidance in all of this? Like, where do we even begin to look for hope that things can actually get better? And look, this isn't just some vague feeling in the background. It's real. It comes from the things we see every day. Injustice that seems to be everywhere, conflicts that never seem to end, and a kind of moral confusion that, well, it just leaves a lot of people feeling totally lost. It's like, as a whole, we've kind of lost our compass. Okay, so this is where the Islamic tradition gives us a different lens to look through. It tells us that history isn't just a series of random accidents. Nope, it's all moving towards something. And the teaching is that before we get to the end, some really big, game-changing events are set to happen. And right at the heart of these prophesied events is the promise of a truly just leader, a figure we know in the Islamic tradition as Imam Mahdi. His arrival is meant to signal a massive shift for the entire world. So, who exactly is this awaited figure? Well, the tradition is very, very clear on this. He's not a new prophet. He's a righteous leader, a guide who comes from the family of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And his whole purpose, his role, is to appear at a time of incredible chaos and turmoil. And there's this incredibly powerful description from the Prophet Muhammad himself that just perfectly captures the hope people have. It says that this leader will fill the world with justice after it has been filled with injustice. I mean, think about that. It's talking about a complete 180-degree turn for the entire planet. So what's his mission? It really boils down to three main things. First, he's meant to unite the entire Muslim community, the Ummah, which is pretty fractured today. Second, like we just said, his goal is to bring real justice and fairness for everyone. And third, he will lead based on pure, unshakable truth. Now, this is a really, really important point. Imam Mahdi is a restorer, not some kind of a revolutionary starting something new. He's not coming with a new religion or a new set of laws, not at all. His leadership is all about bringing back and implementing the original pure Islam that was taught by the final prophet, Muhammad. Okay, so whenever you talk about a prophecy this big, the first thing people ask is, when? What are the signs? And that's natural. But this is where Islamic scholarship tells us to pump the brakes a little and be really careful. It's super important to know the difference between the general conditions the text mention and, the wild speculation about specific dates, which can actually be pretty dangerous. So to keep our heads on straight about this, we have to draw a line between what we do know and what we don't. We're told about general signs, right? Things like widespread injustice, a decline in morality, people being divided. But the specifics? The exact date? The year? Nope. That is firmly in the category of the unknown. That's knowledge that only God has. And this is a really key point to get. Think about it. Injustice, moral decline, these things have happened over and over again throughout history. So trying to take these general signs and say, aha, this means it's happening right now, in this specific year, well, it's just not reliable. And honestly, it completely misses the whole point of why we're told about this in the first place. Which brings us to the real core of this whole topic. If we're not supposed to be obsessing over dates or trying to point fingers and say, that's him, then what's the point of even believing in this? Well, the whole focus is meant to shift from looking out there to looking in here at ourselves. See, the real message is all about personal responsibility. This knowledge isn't supposed to make us paranoid, anxiously watching the news every night. It's meant to be a spark, a catalyst for our own spiritual growth. The focus isn't speculation, it's preparation. So why does this belief even matter? Well, for one, it strengthens your faith that there is a divine plan. It gives you hope that in the end, justice will win. It also acts like a moral compass, helping you stick to your principles when the world gets crazy. And maybe most importantly, it makes you ask yourself that one crucial question: am I ready? All right, so how do we get ready? What does spiritual readiness even look like on a day-to-day basis? Well, the guidance here is actually super practical and really empowering. Okay, three key things. Number one, focus on yourself. Focus on your actions, the stuff you can actually control. Your prayer, being honest in your dealings, being kind to people. Every little bit is part of getting ready. Number two, be smart and be careful. Don't just blindly follow anyone who makes big claims. History's full of fakes. And number three, stay connected to the sources. Stick to the Quran and the authentic teachings of the Prophet, the Sunnah. That's your best defense against getting confused. When you really think about it, this whole thing just brings us back to our true purpose. Winning isn't about being around to witness some future event. The real success for any of us is to live our lives in a good way so that when we meet God, our faith is strong and our hearts are in the right place. So let's end by flipping the question around. It's really not about when is he coming. The only question that really, truly matters is about us. It's, will we be ready? If that day was tomorrow, would we be the kind of people prepared to stand up for what's right?